Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubia Net. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today I'm going to focus on the update of the alleged news story of medical negligence, racism, and the fight for justice regarding the patient, Karrie Jones. Now, in November, just a few days ago, around 11th through the 14th, Miss Cass Jones, she posted a video on TikTok. Now, this video went viral. You may have seen it. It's on Instagram and all over social media. So she showed her daughter, once again, Karrie Jones, in labor. And she was neglected horrendously by a so-called nurse, LaCrista Vaughn. So the update is LaCrista Vaughn isn't yet fired from the Dallas Regional Medical Center. She's on paid leave. So I'm so distraught about this, upset, enraged, and everything, just like you are. So everyone, picture this. An African American woman walks into a hospital. She's doubled over in pain, crying for help, and she's in labor. Her body is telling her it is time. But instead of being rushed to a bed, monitored, or even cared for, she's brushed off. The staff member, LaCrista Vaughn, the nurse on duty, she fails to act. There's no urgency. There's no compassion, no recognition of the humanity in front of her. And minutes later, that mother is sitting in a wheelchair. A wheelchair, everyone, not a bed where she can be laying comfortably, monitored, because she is in such excruciating pain, turmoil. She's unattended. And this woman, LaCrista Vaughn, is asking her so many questions regarding, who is your doctor, how many children you've had before. So many questions that she could have asked her when the woman was in bed, and she could have done this at her bedside. There was no reason for this, but just a hard heart, no compassion, as I stated before. And Karrie Jones was still unattended when her baby boy entered the world around 12 minutes later, under conditions that no mother should ever endure. So there is medical negligence in capital letters. It's not just a mistake, it's a failure of duty by LaCrista Vaughn. Hospitals and their staff have a legal and moral responsibility to provide timely, competent care. And when they don't, it harms so many people. It's extreme negligence.
Is your due date? Right now. Is your due date? 11. What? How many times have you been pregnant? 3. This is your 3rd pregnancy? Yes. You have 2 babies. It's in my ass. You have 2 babies at home. Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this, or just the black ones?
Okay, this is the first time patient for you. My last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure what her due date is.
Her due date
You
is
said
the
it
10th.
was the 10th. Her due date is the 10th.
She got 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home. I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Thank you.
Everybody say how they treat people here.
In bed, and she could have done this at her bedside. There was no reason for this but just a, a hard heart, no compassion, as I stated before. And Corinne Jones was still unattended when her baby boy entered the world around 12 minutes later under conditions that no mother should ever endure. So there is medical negligence in capital letters. It's not just a mistake, it's a failure of duty by LaCrista Vaughn. Hospitals and their staff have a legal and moral responsibility to provide timely, competent care. And when they don't, it harms so many people. It's extreme negligence. So medical negligence, YouTube family, it happens when healthcare providers like LaCrista Vaughn, they fail to meet the standard of care expected in their profession. So in this case, the failures include failure to assess the pain and urgency, failure to access, the resources needed to provide this woman comfort, a glass of water, having a comfortable mattress, having medication. So she was ignoring this woman who was visibly in excruciating pain. It was failure to provide immediate medical intervention, not moving her to a delivery room, or even calling the doctor. Failure to monitor the fetal and maternal health. There was no vital checks that I know of, no fetal monitoring, no preparation for delivery at that time when Corinne Jones was in the wheelchair and LaCrista Vaughn was sitting at the computer. There was failure to uphold patient dignity and safety, leaving her to give birth in a wheelchair. And no other medical staff was around at that time. So each of these 4 points, it shows a breakdown in professional responsibility. What do you think, YouTube family? Do you agree? Please leave your comment below. And in regards to filing a lawsuit, every mother definitely should get justice. And this is how I think she should come forward. Thankfully, the grandmother, Kat Jones, she documented everything in a video. Because from what I've heard, this hospital, Dallas Regional Medical Center, has a poor record allegedly and really horrendous reviews. So everything was videoed, recorded. The timeline of events. Also, they need to make sure they take the hospital records or make copies of it. They can't just take it, but the lawyer can, of course. The discharge papers and any communication with, of course, LaCrista Vaughn or any other hospital staff member. Also, any witnesses, they need to gather their statements. If there was any family members there, any other family members, other patients, or anyone who saw what happened. Also, of course, legal counsel. They need to contact the medical malpractice attorney who has expertise, who is well-trained, well-versed in this field. And of course, lawyers who specializes in negligence, who can truly evaluate this case and explain their rights. So there's clarification. Definitely a complaint has to be filed with the hospital. I'm sure this has been done already. The hospitals all have internal review boards. So filing a complaint forces them to investigate. Definitely filing a lawsuit. So the attorney will file a malpractice suit in a civil court. And this claim will argue that negligence directly caused harm, both physically, emotionally, spiritually as well, mentally as well, because this is extremely stressful for this mother. And thank goodness her son, the baby boy, he was born healthy from what I know, thankfully. And they must pursue these damages relentlessly. There needs to be compensation to cover the medical bills. Like I said, the emotional distress, mental distress, physical distress on the mother's body, and if there's any for the baby as well. I'm sure there was. And even long term impacts for that baby boy and the mother. And in this case, where it's quote unquote racial bias, civil rights claims must be pursued. So all of these 5 steps need to be done right away, back to back. So this isn't just about one mother, it's definitely about a system where women, and especially African American Black women or any woman of color, are often they're negligent, they're neglected, and they're ignored, dismissed, treated as less deserving of care. In 2025, we should not hear cases like this. This is extremely horrible. Statistics, as you may know, show that Black women in America are 3 times more likely to pass away from pregnancy related causes than Caucasian women. So that's not even biology, it's bias, neglect, and systemic racism baked into the healthcare system. So when a mother like Karrie Jones is left to give birth in a wheelchair, unattended, again, it's not just about negligence, it's part of a bigger problem. Filing that lawsuit isn't only about compensation, it's not about just getting the money, it's about accountability. It's about saying we will not be silent when our lives are treated as disposable. There's no way in the world this should have happened at any hospital, especially in these modern times with so many resources, advanced technology, advanced medicine, and the training that people who are working in the medical field must obtain in order to have their degrees, their certifications. No way. So definitely this is a call to action. Medical negligence is not just a legal term. It's a lived reality for too many Black women. And every time we shine a light on it, every time we demand justice, we must push the system to change. So everyone, what do you think about this case? I'm sure you have heard of it online. If you're on social media, you have heard of it. But however, honestly, I've looked on the major news websites and I still don't see it. So we need to share this news for the sake of people being aware and to prevent this from occurring again. Thank you so much for watching. And even before I go, LaCrista Vaughn, because of what we saw in the video, we can see that the negligence, we can see the hard-heartedness, just absolutely no care at all. This woman does not deserve to have this job as a nurse, not in a hospital where she has to have responsibility for women of color. Perhaps in another community, but as a nurse, you really should advocate for every single patient, but that's not the case. We can see with her actions. So once again, there is no confirmation that this woman, LaCrista Vaughn, this so-called nurse, is fired. Right now, she is on paid leave, and it's so unfair. There's no reason in the world for her to still get paid, and she wasn't doing her job to the maximum. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe wherever you are. Have